I was just thinking, Itadori is one of those characters that just suffers. It's almost like Akutami, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, hates him. Since I started the Jujutsu Kaisen story, I have noticed one major thing. Itadori usually doesn't have the satisfying catharsis at the end of his fights since the beginning. For instance, at the school when Megumi and Yuji were fighting the cursed spirits, the battle ends with Itadori consuming Sukuna's finger, and now inside Yuji there is an entity that would cause Yuji much suffering in Sukuna. As we now know, the fight with Junpei gets turned into a cursed spirit in front of Yuji after Yuji was so close in convincing him to join his side. The Nanami and the Yuji vs Mahito fight, they were about to defeat him, but Mahito, being Mahito, cleverly escapes, which would later have major consequences. Also, the Yuji and Todo vs Hanami fight, which was a fight that Hanami got to escape even though he didn't deserve to survive at all. Todo and Yuji absolutely schooled him in that fight. And then there are the Shibuya fights. Itadori got defeated by Choso in one of the best fights in Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought that fight was insane in the manga, and the anime took it to a whole other level. One of the best fights in Jujutsu Kaisen, hands down. And then we got the major one. Itadori didn't get to finish off Mahito in Shibuya after all the hurt Mahito inflicted on Yuji. We got the epic scene where Yuji was chasing Mahito as if he were the wolf, and Mahito was pathetically running away like a coward, and it seemed like he was coming to his demise at the hands of Yuji, but that doesn't happen and Geto ruins the party. The only instances Itadori gets definitive wins is in fights that don't have major stakes, such as the fight between Itadori and Kugisaki versus the Cursed Wombs, Eso and Keichizu. You've also got the fight with the Grasshopper Curse Yuji fought in the Shibuya arc, and the Discount Netaro in Shibuya, whom Itadori and Megumi defeated together. Itadori gets those kinds of dubs when he fights the henchmen, the unimportant characters, but when it is time to face the big bad boss, he fails or the outcome is unsatisfactory. So this got me asking, why is this happening to Yuji, the main character of the story? Isn't he supposed to be the main attraction? It got me asking, does Gege Akutami hate Itadori? Not only that, but Itadori doesn't get the shine as other shonen MC do. Yes, he is very strong and he has moments here and there, but when you compare him to the likes of other shonen MCs such as Naruto, Luffy and Deku, etc, Itadori doesn't get the same limelight as those characters, and I consider this to be a very fascinating aspect of Jujutsu Kaisen. It gives Jujutsu Kaisen this uniqueness compared to other shonen. Also, the fact that he doesn't have a grand ambition like other shonen protagonists also sets him apart, but luckily the story of Jujutsu Kaisen is strong enough that him not having as much screen time such as in the longest arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Culling Games, and him not having a grand ambition like other shonen MC doesn't hamper the quality of the story. And when he gets the limelight, it's not in the triumphant way we are used to seeing in shonen stories such as in the Shibuya arc, where we see his mental state tested constantly, where he first gets brutally cut down after an intense fight with Choso, then he is forced to consume a number of Sukuna's fingers, which awakens Sukuna and his body is used to cause a lot of destruction, and seeing him break down after that, let's be honest, we all enjoyed those scenes, not in a sadistic way. Maybe some of you weirdos did, I don't know, but rather since Itadori was faced with situations that was difficult for him. It's like how Joker tests Batman to make him break his moral code by trying to make Batman kill a human. In Shibuya, we see Itadori faced with situations that tests him to the limit. His reasoning for wanting to be a Jujutsu sorcerer was to help people since he has the ability to do so, and his ability was used for destruction by Sukuna. That is the sort of way that Yuji shines for me in this story in Jujutsu Kaisen when he is tested. And it doesn't end there. We all know what follows, the situation with Nanami and Kugisaki, but these are all examples of Yuji getting the limelight that is not in a triumphant way. The triumphant way Naruto defeats Gaara in the Chunin exams and Pain in the Pain Assault arc. The triumphant way Luffy defeated Lucci, Doflamingo and all the the others at the end of each One Piece arc, where he gets all the attention and praise for them. But let alone shining, Akutami sometimes loves humiliating Yuji, and it's in one of my favorite segments of the Jujutsu Kaisen story, and that is when Sukuna took over Megumi's body. Up to that point in the story, Sukuna has been nothing but a thorn while harboring Yuji's body. Our boy doesn't even lend power like the Nine-Tailed Fox in Naruto. Since that scene where Junpei got played by Mahito and Yuji was desperately asking Sukuna for help and got mocked by Sukuna and Mahito, I really wanted another scene like that since I really enjoyed it. It was a nice characterization moment for curses and generally the bad guys in Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I finally got it. After Sukuna takes over Megumi's body, Yuji loses it in one of the hypest scenes in the entire series when he was walking through Sukuna's slices and even surprised Sukuna for a moment, but it all went downhill as Sukuna beat up both Maki and him, and Sukuna and Uraume flew away while Yuji was, I hate to say it, but Yuji's face was sort of hilarious when he was desperately chasing them, and I don't blame Sukuna and Uraume mocking him in that scene. It was kind of funny, and it's nice when Gege Akutami does this, where his MC gets mocked. It's something I don't see in a lot of stories, and I just have to say this whole situation with Yuji sort of reminds me of Eren Yeager's situation before the Marley arc in Attack on Titan, where Eren Yeager's character was criticized for not being as interesting or not getting the limelight as other characters in the story, and then the Marley arc and the arcs after that changed the whole perspective we have on Eren. A similar thing might happen in Jujutsu Kaisen, and if it happens, I will not be surprised, but I still doubt Yuji will become everyone's favorite character if something like that happens, with Gege Akutami saying that the manga will end this year. I don't think there is enough time to develop Yuji's character like Eren's because of that, but I feel like the defeat of Sukuna will be by the hands of Itadori, and in a very bombastic, triumphant way. That would be the triumphant victory that I've been waiting for Yuji to have in this story. I like the theory that's going on in the Jujutsu Kaisen community of Yuji's domain being a boxing ring and him whooping Sukuna's ass in that domain. That would be really good, and that just might be what will change the minds of people who don't think Yuji is a good main character. If you've made it this far, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well, and with that said, see you in the next one.